it's interesting to me how many different conversations circle around this word intent. I mentioned before, a lot of what I would have focused on before was body-centric. It was nutrition and performance and health and wellness, and not a lot of emotional or spiritual or psychological wellness, I suppose. But the intent behind each one of those things is important. The intent behind why we do everything really dictates the outcome, I found. When people used to come and work with us for their health, their physical health, not having a strong enough why or reason for doing it meant that their outcomes were poor. Nothing to do with the treatments or interventions or their lifestyle. It was if they didn't have enough of an internal factor motivating them to do this thing, their outcome would be really, really poor. And it was probably one of the biggest factors that influenced all people's outcomes. As I said, not the treatment protocols, not anything else, not their family, not the techniques they were using in the meditation world, not the specific type of meditation or how long they did it for. It's the why. It's the intent. And it's I find it can be the swaying factor behind everything. I often use social media as an example. Social media can be a very powerful tool. It can connect people. It can grow a business. It can be very positive if your intent is to consciously use it as that tool. If you don't have an intent, which is probably the worst, rather than having a bad intent, if you don't have any intent, you're just being consumed by the social media as opposed to consuming the content. You're just mindlessly scrolling, consuming, and your outcome is going to be poor. So it's the same thing. And it's the same person using it, but the intent completely shifts the outcome from using that. And you can apply that to everything I said before: coffee, food, drink, meditation, breath work, everything. The intent is massively important. When you're working with people from a meditation point of view, do you find that most people come with an intent, or is their intent to find the cure?
Yeah. I mean, I think they definitely do come with an intention to a degree. You know, like maybe, we were talking earlier, it's like when people... often when they come to meditation or a meditation center, especially like I was saying when, post-pandemic, I saw a lot of people coming because really they were carrying a lot of mental and emotional wear and tear as a result of that period of time, and hadn't really processed it, didn't really know how to process it, in fairness to them. So they felt very much kind of like a bit lost with that, don't know how to move forward with that. And so maybe weren't getting help with that. So they'd come to the meditation center to try and see if there's a solution to kind of alleviate that stress, that anxiety, or those feelings of depression as a result of that period. The challenge then for people is they do come with a degree of intention, and then they sit down to meditate to kind of alleviate those symptoms. But as soon as they turn in a meditation, which is what you're doing in meditation, you're turning and with some degree of courage at the beginning for anyone who's going to do this. You got to turn in and then face that turbulent emotions, thoughts, feelings. It's not like meditation is enhancing or increasing those thoughts and feelings. It's just revealing what's happening in your mind all day long, but we're not normally aware or self-aware enough to understand what's going on in our mind. We distract ourselves from those uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. So when somebody sits to meditate, they turn into that. And after like maybe 2-3 sessions, they often just give up because they think, I can't deal with this. I just want to distract myself from this, but it doesn't then get any better. But sometimes when people turn in, they just feel like I'm not getting relief of this. But if they were just relaxed and just patient with themselves and patient with the process, eventually through meditation, you can work through all that stuff. Begin to release your mind from the grip of those really turbulent emotions and unhealthy thoughts and feelings. But you do have to be super patient with yourself in the process. And then you also get some people who they do turn up and they get some temporary relief. They're loving it. They're getting on with it. And then they think, I'm fine. I'm good to go now until the next time. And then what we're really doing in meditation is continually investing in our future mental and emotional well-being and resilience. We're constantly accomplishing increasing levels of mental and emotional well-being, deeper peace of mind, a deeper sense of happiness, a deeper resilience that when you meet the next challenging situation, you feel ready to deal with it. So a lot of people do come, to your point, Dan, with an intention, but the intention isn't deep enough. And it's an interesting thing you bring up that, because I think sometimes people think it's just intention. But intention can be, I intend to, but I never get around to. So a lot of people within the meditation tradition and the Buddhist meditation tradition that I train in with, a lot of people really kind of discover over time how to increase the power of intention through your meditation practice. So for example, we'll use a simple example. If I were to ask you, are you a sea swimmer? We're out in the north side of Dublin. You're in Swords, I'm in Malahide. A lot of people here, sea swim. Are you a sea swimmer? your instinctive response to that answer will not be based on what you think you are or what you intend to be, rather what you have experience of in your heart. So if, for example, every day you go to swim in the sea and I ask you, are you a sea swimmer? You'll just say, yeah, of course. It's not like you're having to say that, think about that. There's just a natural confidence that comes from your experience of doing that. So if you have that view of yourself as a sea swimmer, your intention will strengthen and move you to act, to swim. So if you have a strong intention to swim coming from a view that you're a sea swimmer, you will just swim every day. And then gradually all of your actions flow from that, from your intention. And then your way of life becomes a result of that. So often when people think about intention, they think, well, if I just have a why, that'll be good to go. Yeah. No, well, yeah, a why at the beginning, and just know that that's going to buckle when you're under the challenges of life. So if I have the intention to meditate, sometimes I'll just keep the intention and never get around to it. I intend to meditate. Where is that coming from? Essentially, it's coming from how I view myself. I don't view myself as a meditator. I'm not a meditator. I have the intention to meditate, but I don't view myself as a meditator. Why do I not view myself as a meditator? Because I have no experience of meditation. So how can I have a powerful intention? So if we go back and start at the beginning, and just like start from the beginning, if you start to give ourselves time and space to just sit and meditate and gain that experience, gradually your view of yourself will naturally change. You'll understand, actually, I can access a deeper degree of peace, a deeper degree of happiness through meditation practice. My view of myself is beginning to change as someone who has the potential to have increasing peace and happiness, and somebody who meditates. From that, your intention will get far more powerful. It'll be more clear for you, more compelling to you, because you know I have the potential to change. I can find a deeper peace and happiness within myself. And then you'll notice your actions just naturally flow from that. You want to sit and meditate every day, and then you have a meditator's way of life. So the key is to know with intention. It's not just good enough to have an intellectual idea and intention in your head, what you want to do. It's have deep experience in your heart of what you do. And then your view of yourself will change. Your intention becomes more powerful, more consistent. And your actions are more just like flow, not like forcing yourself to sit and meditate, beat yourself up because you need to be more peaceful today. It's just that kind of state of flow that happens through making that first change in experience. So one change can kind of lead to a much more powerful, consistent sense of self-esteem and view of who you are, a more powerful intention for doing what you're doing, and a natural flow of action and way of life that comes from that. So I think when people feel discouraged or they feel they're not a meditator, sometimes I say, is it that you're not a meditator or you don't meditate?